everyone! I'll just let my... So, today we're going to talk about Storybook 7 in Monorepos with Nx. I'm Katerina Skroumpelou. I'm a senior engineer at Nx. I'm a GDE for Angular, Google Maps, Web Technologies. I'm a Women Tech Makers Ambassador, a speaker, instructor, and a cat person. And you can follow me at CyberCity or cyber.city. So what we're talking about today is what is Nx and why use Nx with Storybook, how Nx supports Storybook development and how it helps you set up your Monorepo to use Storybook, and how you can migrate your Nx workspace to Storybook 7 right now. What is Nx and why use Nx with Storybook? Nx is a next generation build system with first-class Monorepo support and powerful integrations, which means it's fast. You never rebuild the same code twice. Nx can figure out whether the same computation has run before and can restore the files and the terminal output from its cache. We also offer distributed cache execution, smart automated dynamic distribution of tasks across multiple machines to get maximum parallelization and CPU CI runs. We also offer remote caching. You can share your local computation cache with teammates and your CI system, and you only run what changed. Nx analyzes your project graph and can diff it against the baseline to determine which projects changed and what tasks need to be rerun. Also, it's configurable. We have a whole plugin ecosystem. We offer powerful integrations with multiple modern tools like Storybook, for example. We also offer a dev kit for custom tool building. You can customize Nx to support different technologies and custom use cases, for example, with it. And also Nx adapts to your workspace. You can choose your style and make it work for what you already have. We also offer great DX. We have a powerful CLI, the Nx CLI. We have integrations with IDEs like VS Code, IntelliJ, and NeoVim. We also offer an Nx Cloud GitHub integration, and you can run all your tasks through Nx. What that means is that we have generators which help you architect your workspace and generate code for you. We have executors to build, test, lint, and automate tasks which call other tools. We also have migrators which helps you upgrade easily with just one command, Nx migrates. Now let's see how Nx supports Storybook development and helps you set up your Monorepo to use Storybook. We offer code generation, builder integration, code migrations, NXDT, and cache, documentation, and community support. Let's see code generation first. You can add the Narwhal Storybook package to your workspace with just one command, yarn add -d at Narwhal Storybook. And you can call the generator nxg at Narwhal Storybook configuration project name, or for example, if you have a React project, call the React specific Storybook configuration generator. What this generator will do for you is it will install the right dependencies, it will configure Storybook for you, it will sort of generate the .storybook directory, it will generate stories for you, and it will also generate Cypress E2E tests for you. So say you want to configure Storybook for my React app called my React VT app, using the VT builder, configure Cypress for it, generate Cypress specs, and generate stories as well. To do this, we would run the following command, nxg at Narwhal React Storybook configuration, name of your React app, configure Cypress, generate stories, generate Cypress tests, bundler, vt. What this would do is the following. It would install these dependencies for you if you're generating for Storybook 7, for example, add-on essentials, React, and React Vt, and it would generate the following things: the .storybook directory with main.js, preview.js, tsconfig, .stories.tsx file, so stories for all your components. You only have one component here, so one story, and your E2E tests. Your storybook.main.js would look like this. You would have React Vt, and because you're in a Monorepo setting, you have to specify the path to your vt-config files. So you would have to add the full path to your vt-config file like this. Nx will do this for you automatically. It will generate this for you. And say that you have a component that looks like this. You have the app props, so you have the name, the age, and sort of a boolean that looks like this. Nx will generate the following story for you for this component. You see we're using CSF3, and it would add all these props as arguments, the name, the age, and the active, with the correct type as well, with the correct starting value, CSF3 syntax. Then Nx would also generate the Cypress specs. So you can see that it would generate a Cypress test that would visit the iframe of your storybook. So Cypress would start the server, it will launch Storybook, and it will visit the /iframe with the correct props. So if you had a secondary story with the arguments of name Katerina, age 34, active true, and let's remember the template. If you added the Cypress to visit this iframe, you would pass as arguments in the URL name Katerina, age 34, active true, and you would write the test to test that in H2, for example, it renders the name correctly, or in H3 it renders the age correctly. Now, when we say builder integration, we mean that you can use Nx-Storybook, my React VT app, or Nx-Build Storybook, and you can call the Storybook builders through Nx like this, because we have our own executors where we call the builders. You can also have the code migrations by running this command, nx migrate at Narwhal Storybook at latest, which will run a number of scripts to upgrade Storybook to the latest version as Nx sees it. Also, when we say that we offer an XDT and cache with Storybook, what we mean for Storybook through Nx is what we mean that because you run your commands through Nx, it means that all your builds and your tests and whatever you do with Storybook are getting added into the Nx ecosystem directly and into the Nx cache, so you take advantage of this. As we said, we also offer documentation and community support. So we offer extensive documentation of how to use and set up Storybook in your Nx workspace. We tell you what the best practices are for setting up Storybook in your Monorepo or in your Nx workspace. And we also have a whole community where you can ask questions. We have Slack. We are pretty active also on the Storybook Discord, answering questions. We collaborate closely with the Storybook team. So you're definitely supported in all your steps on using Storybook with Nx in your Monorepo or not Monorepo. Now let's see how you can migrate your Nx workspace to Storybook 7 right now. For the past couple of months, we have been working closely with the Storybook team in perfecting the migrator scripts. So in Nx, we have this generator called at Narwhal/Storybook migrate 7, which this generator, what it will do is it will prepare your files for migration. It will call the SB upgrade, so it will call the Storybook CLI upgrade script, then it will call the Storybook CLI auto migrate script, which now works with Monorepos and Nx, and then it will make some final adjustments to your files, and then you will be ready to go. So now let's see how this works. Here we have a Nx workspace which uses Storybook 6.5, and we want to see how you can use the migrate 7 command to migrate it to Storybook 7. You can run your migrate command with -- only show list of commands, and you will see a list of commands that you can run on your own if you want to migrate, which is generally to call the Storybook scripts. But you can also call just the Storybook migrate generator, and let's see what that will do. It will tell you on each step what it is doing. First, it will call SB upgrade, which will upgrade your Storybook package versions to the latest version. And then what it will do, if you look closely at the logs, this is a combination of logs from the Storybook CLI and a combination of logs from the Nx CLI. What it will do is it will run for each one of your projects the Storybook auto migrate command. you can see which command is being called on each step because we log it out. And it's usually the SB auto migrate, where we pass a config directory specifically for each of your application or your project, and specifically we tell it which renderer to use, which we get from an RNX configuration. After this migration completes, we see that all the packages were upgraded to the latest versions. Then we can see that it removed some configurations from Nx, like the UI framework, which is no longer needed. And we can see the changes that it made to main.js. For example, for a Next.js project, for an Angular project, or even for a React project using Vite, and using TypeScript configuration for Storybook. So it made all these changes to all these main.js files, and we can see how this looks. But it also generated, finally, a file called Storybook Migration Summary.md, which shows you a summary of all the commands that were run during this migration. This is for you to know what happened during these steps, since it's a combination of commands run through Nx and commands run through the Storybook CLI. It is generally recommended that you run this migration with a clean Git history, so please commit your changes before and after you run the migration scripts. That was all. I hope you now know more things about Nx and how to use it with Storybook. You can follow me at CyberCity or my website cyber.city, and please follow Nx at nxdevtools on Twitter or find us at nx.dev. Goodbye!